Welcome back. Parliament's on-again, off-again impeachment inquiry into the Public Protector's fitness to hold office is back on again. A Section 194 committee adopted a new program today that will see Busisiwe Mkhwebane answer questions on her fitness to hold office in July. This after she failed to convince the Constitutional Court to review its judgment on Parliament's processes in this regard. Our reporter Lindsay Dentlinger is following the story for us. She joins us now live from Cape Town. So Lindsay, what factors did the committee take into consideration this afternoon that's actually led to a decision to go ahead once again with this inquiry?
Well, a lot of it, Shahan, has to do with the various legal proceedings in the various courts. You will recall that on Friday, the Constitutional Court dismissed Busisiwe Mkhwebane's rescission application. And so that was really a key factor that the committee took into consideration today. The parties, the UDM and the ATM, for example, they wanted the committee to hold off until such time as the matter of that SMS, which stalled the proceedings in the Western Cape High Court, in which the Public Protector is trying to interdict Parliament and stop the President from suspending her until that matter is fully investigated and ironed out. But it was the view of some MPs, or the majority of MPs rather, that just had nothing to do with Parliament's business, and that Parliament still of the view that there are no impediments to it continuing with this inquiry. Although they did note that Busisiwe Mkhwebane is back before the Constitutional Court for a rescission application of her rescission application, but still the majority of MPs not moved that should be a reason once again for them to stall getting this inquiry off the ground. Here are the views of the two biggest parties in Parliament, the ANC and the DA, on this matter.
I don't want to dwell into the leakages and everything that has happened. It's very unfortunate that it happened like that. It's not our baby, so those who are responsible to deal with it, they must deal with those.
Should we indulge this latest episode? It's really concerning to me to hear that if we consider pausing or suspending our operations because of an application for rescission of another application that was decided not to be rescinded. In other words, we're going down the rabbit hole here. What prevents a third or a fourth or a fifth application rescission? It becomes a bit of a farce, frankly, there, Chair. So I think if people have the right to take all kinds of applications that they want, but certainly this committee should not be paralyzed by Stalingrad tactics from outside of the committee. We have a clear mandate, and until such time as we hear that mandate is not valid, we have a duty to proceed.
And of course, the Public Protector has not yet exhausted her litigation to stop this process. So what's next?
So in terms of Parliament's program, they've adopted more than one. So first, Busisiwe Mkhwebane was expected to appear before it in early May and early of this month. Now that has been moved to July, as you've mentioned. Parliament's legal advisors also informing the committee that while this is all going on and we don't physically see an inquiry taking place, a lot of work is going on behind the scenes. We learned today that Parliament has already written to the Public Protector to give her an opportunity to respond to the charges against her as tabled in that original motion by the DA more than 2 years ago, to respond in writing. She has until the 22nd of May to do so. She also has until a date later in this month to indicate whether she intends to be represented by legal or any other expert opinion before this inquiry. Should she appear in person? Should she not provide any responses in writing to Parliament, then of course she will be given the opportunity to appear in person, or right now it's planned to be a hybrid inquiry, so she will then be allowed to give oral evidence, and Parliament's legal advisors also informing the committee that a notice will go out to the public as soon as the end of this week to submit evidence to the committee that could be used in this inquiry. So processes are really working behind the scenes, and you will recall that two advocates have been appointed to lead evidence in this inquiry, and they have already begun looking at a list of possible witnesses. As far as Busisiwe Mkhwebane goes, what we know right now is that she's still expected to return to court next week in terms of trying to stop the president from suspending her and, of course, to interdict Parliament's proceedings, although the legal basis on which she approached the court now has kind of fallen away given the Constitutional Court's most recent judgment. So it's all very convoluted, Shahan, and whether those proceedings will indeed continue next week remains to be seen. But as far as Parliament's concerned, it's all guns blazing and they are raring to go. Here is the committee's chairperson, Richard Janchi, explaining why they do not find any more reasons at this point in time to stall this inquiry any longer.
The committee welcomes the order of the Constitutional Court on the matter of the rescission. The committee has noted, listening to what the members are saying, the fact that there is now a new application to rescind the rescission. In their numbers, members are very clear that having noted that, none of those issues, including the investigation of the leaked SMS, prohibits us from proceeding, and therefore firmly asking that as a committee that we agree that we proceed with our work that we have been set up to do. Obviously, we're going to be watching the space as we do our work.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this unfolds. We'll leave it right there. Our reporter Lindsay Dentlinger is in Cape Town.